Hey, what's up everybody, it's Sam from Nasrudinov. In this video I'll be doing my discussions on Dana White Contender Series Season 21 Week 3. My predictions and my bets into this card. This would be part of my Lock of the Night and Top 2 Parlay discussions, which is part of my Patreon $5 tier. But I'm sharing this right away in YouTube so more people can see it and also hopefully make things more interesting to you guys and you'll be interested in participating in this Patreon tier, right? So let me do the following. First I'll break down the fights that I have. I'm not doing all of them. Then I'm gonna have the bet of the top pick and parlay discussion. Alright, so if you're new around here, the way I do things, I break things down, then I comment on my bets. This is a simplified version of what I'm doing, so stick until the end for you to see the bets, and also take a look on different videos in my channel. You can see those organizing playlists, and hopefully the channel will be helpful for you. Alright, so between Della, Madalena versus Ange, Loosa. Guys, actually it's tough to predict too much on Dana White Contender Series. The reason is most of the time you cannot find much footage on people. This case is somewhat similar. Della has some footage on him. I couldn't find at least 4 bouts, so you can tell a little bit his style, you can tell the skills they have. This is a guy who is aggressive, likes to get inside and throw bombs. He's also fairly experienced, so he has some skills, some technical skills to stay on the outside, to go for wrestling. He can train wrestle a little bit, even though he's from Australia. The country is not known by its wrestling, but he can do a little bit. I think he's fairly well-rounded, like I said. Ange Loosa, he's more like a physical guy for the, sorry about the noise guys, a physical guy for the division. He basically, get to your face and brawls hard because he has that kind of athleticism and power, and he puts guys out in the first round. It's going to be interesting to see if Della can survive the onslaught and come on top. I think he can. The problem here that why I'm not too confident on either of these guys is because I couldn't find Loosa's last bout, so to me it's quite tough again to call this one. But I would be going with Jack round 2 TKO. Let's say that he survives the onslaught, right, and then he could come on top. If you like Loosa, I would say go by TKO. There's a good chance that he's gonna finish Della, especially in round 1. So Ange Loosa round 1 TKO, probably very interesting. If they open prop bets, this is probably a very interesting line. I don't think it's gonna be much. The price is not gonna be the way I would like, but it could happen because yeah, these guys are in the welterweight division. Yeah, probably they're gonna have open a line where the under props would be like a -200, something like this on the under 2.5, and maybe even minus under 1.5 rounds. Still could be some interesting line there, because Loosa, unless he makes something different, I think he's gonna get into Jack's face and they're gonna brawl right until one finishes each other. So it's probably gonna happen here. Dylan Potter versus Lukazs. I'm not going to even say I hope that I'm pronouncing that right, because I'm sure I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Brzeski. So guys, this is sorry, I forgot to update the name here. So this is another tough fight for me to call. I found some footage on Lukazs, not so much on Dylan, as surprising as it sounds. But either way, I'm not too confident to pick here. I'm gonna go with Lukazs just because he's more physical, younger. He could win basically wearing on Dylan, who is a guy who has quite some skills. On the feet, he can throw like a 1-2 body kick in a more technical way. He also controls the range, not bad in controlling range. But I think Lukazs gonna get inside, gonna wear on him. So this could be a close fight. If Dylan had a little bit more physical power, I would probably bet him. The way the lines are now, Dylan's at a +200. By my calculations, I have Dylan like a slight underdog. So if you want to bet here, I would say you have to. It's definitely a dog or pass, But I don't have much of a read on this one. I was even thinking of skipping this one, but since I tried to analyze, decided to put here. So if you found enough footage on Potter, you saw that he can, has potential to take this to the ground and whatnot. He has some submissions under his record, so maybe Potter is worth your money, because Lukazs, he doesn't have much skills, guys. Mostly like a guy who gets inside and wears on opponents with the clinch, tries to shoot inside, but without much wrestling technique and whatnot. So I expect Lukasz to be able to be more physical here, but totally not confident on him, and I'm not going to be betting here. Well, Miller versus Brandon Lewis. This is a bet that I'm taking on Miller. Frankly, guys, it's mostly because of the size, you know, even though Miller has some technique. Give me just a second. Sorry guys, forgot where I was at. Yeah, I think basically because of the size, but don't get it wrong, Miller has skills. This guy can both throw some good hands on the feet. He's a good wrestler. Well, Miller, he can take the back. Has good ground and pound, you know. Brandon Lewis, I bet him in his last bout. He won by split decision, so I got lucky in that bet. I was thinking he would be much better in that matchup, because from what I've seen, Lewis has a good wrestling game. He can take it to the ground, you know, use his some technique. He's also not bad on the feet. But the problem with him is that he's really undersized. You know, he's like 5'4". He's like a guy that doesn't have much reach. You know, not like a thick guy. Let's put it like you know, like a James. What's the name of the guy? Jimmy Rivera, for example. Jimmy Rivera is 5'4", but the guy's a tank, right? Lewis more like a flyweight, you know, and not a big flyweight. So at bantamweight here, he's gonna struggle against a quite tall for bantamweight Miller, but definitely a long guy, athletic. Lewis can get hit quite a bit, you know. So I think Miller gonna find his shot in the feet, either gonna drop him and finish him on the ground by strikes, or like take his back and finish him. You know, Lewis to win here, he has to wrestle. You know, he has to avoid getting caught. He, you know, has to come sharp with his cardio, and Miller has to be a little bit off. So it's quite a tough matchup for Brandon Lewis here. I'm gonna go with Miller. I'm taking a little bit of shot in the dark because again, both of them fairly inexperienced, 5 fights each. Nobody has ever lost, you know. But to me, there's value on Miller because of these things that I told you guys. You know, Lewis being undersized, Miller being a big guy, hits hard, good wrestling, good submission skills. Lewis has wrestling and submission skills himself, but very undersized, and he gets hit quite a bit, which worries me, which gives me an edge to Miller, and I think it's worse on Miller, especially inside of the distance and TKO. If you can somehow find these lines, this is probably possible to find, because I think people expect that Miller finishes him, you know, but since it's bantamweight, people always think, you know, 50-50 to that and whatnot. But you know, Miller by TKO, I think you could, if not by plus 400, you can easily find plus 300. You know, so I think this is a rather interesting prop as well. You know, if you like Lewis, it's not impossible. Like I told you guys, you know, he can wear on Miller, hold him down, not submit him. You know, because Miller also has a good submission defense game. But yeah, Lewis by decision. It's not a bad idea if you can get him at plus 500 or something, which is not easy to find, but never know if you're interested to take a look into that. But to me, it's a bet on Miller. Okay, Julia Polastri versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. Guys, this is another one, unfortunately, that I was not able to find all the footage that I wanted, even though there is something available, especially on Polastri. I couldn't find, you know, which I was very interested to find. What I saw on Polastri, it's a girl that seems to be tough, quite well-rounded, you know, can do a little bit of everything, but I was not so impressed from what I've seen. She's more like you know, like try to be opportunistic when the girls leave the openings. She can throw, she can get the girls to the ground, can defend the takedowns, reverse position, etc. But again, not impressed. She's a small girl. I watched one of her interviews in Portuguese, right? She was saying that she started her career as an atomweight, then she moved to strawweight. Now she's fighting in flyweight. Jasmine Jasudavicius, who is very tall, not very tall. She's like fairly tall for a flyweight, and pretty fit and strong girl. She's quite vicious. In her Muay Thai especially, she can come forward and you know, crack with the knees, with the elbows. When she comes inside, she's dangerous. The problem of Jasmine is the defense. She basically doesn't have any. She just gets hit all the time. It's not a problem because she's so big, so strong, so fit. I think she can take those shots, and she's definitely going to be able to take against Julia, unless unless Julia somehow can crack her, you know, clean and somehow in some area like, I don't know, the temple, or keep cracking her in the tip of the chin, can drop Jasmine, you know, but I don't see that much happening. Julia, I haven't seen much wrestling from her. I think Jasmine has enough takedown defense to stop that. So I was close to say that Jasmine is a lock here, guys, but since I don't have much footage to analyze on Julia, I'm gonna be quite careful here, you know, not go crazy on Jasmine, even though, guys, she opens as a plus 100 underdog. Jasmine, to me, it's a massive value there, and this is my biggest bet of this card. Okay, alright, so this is for the breakdown. Let me discuss with you guys now the lock of the night and top 2 parlay. So like I told you guys in the beginning, this is an exercise that I do as part of the $5 tier, so you can, for the UFC fight night, when I choose Miss versus Pan, I have it already. You know, I'm not going to be showing here because they're on the Patreon, so feel free to join. I think you'll both be showing your appreciation to the channel, and just going to be helping you with your bets. Plus I have the other tier that I comment in other videos, or you can always ask me if you have any questions. Okay, so alright, so like I told you guys, this is an exercise. I never recommend anything. Okay guys, there's a disclaimer here, feel free to read. So I'm just saying what I would do, what I'm doing. So you could both do these things here. I could both do these things here, like Mo Miller. If I want to bet 100, and again, this is not the same 100 as I bet in the other cards, but it's an exercise to make it easier with round numbers. So if I'm throwing 65 bucks on Mo Miller and I'm throwing 35 bucks on Jasmine, this would give me a profit of 75, both of them cash, which is pretty nice. But if Jasmine, for example, she loses, still would come a $4 profit, right? So why I think these people are worth your money, plus everything I said, plus if you're gonna take a look on Miller, so yeah, let me just go to Miller. So take a look on Miller. He's you know, on the physical part that I told you guys, you know, the height is 5'8", the reach you guys don't have here, but this is minimum like 70, 72. Look at the size of this guy's arms. He's pretty athletic, as you can just tell by the look of it. You know, he has in a good camp, so he finishes basically everybody, you know, and not that easy guys to finish. Brandon Lewis, way opposite in terms of skill set, not that different, but in terms of size, look at this guy. He's a pretty short guy, short reach. You know, he's pretty young, which gives him a good edge. He's never been finished, you know. But against Jimmy Meza, he was getting hit a lot. You know, he nearly lost the fight. Could go either way. I agree with this result, you know. And again, he's not under the best camp, so I think this is Mo Miller's all day here. Now, it's quite similar things about Jasmine Jasudavicius. She's like super tall. Also, her age is also pretty good because let's say she's in her prime. You know, the prime of the fighter depends on the fighter starts, but in terms of her amount of experience, I'm saying that I'm sure that she's at her prime now. So she has a loss. This last two I was not able to find. So she has a loss against Elise Reed, who is not a bad fighter. You know, she's quite has a name for herself, and though doesn't have so many bouts. You know, she's a pretty tough girl, strong wrestler. You know, so yes, no, she lost to Sarge, but she was undersized there. But anyway, guys, this is something that, again, it's not easy to tell because I couldn't see the fight, right? But if you're gonna compare her size, and she has good wins, as you can see, like I told you guys, she's good on the offense of the Muay Thai. She's fighting Della Polastri, who's short, has a short reach. She's gonna have to get inside, take her shots. She's probably gonna eat some knees, and this is interesting. It's totally wrong. Don't apologize. I've never seen this before. She's pull ups against some guys here. Doesn't make sense, this thing. Yeah, showing Dan Miller makes no sense. Okay, guys. So Julia Polastri, let me take her on short dog in this one then. So she's more like I told you guys, she's fairly well rounded, but nothing impressive. She has more experience than Jasmine, but not that much more. You know, like a couple bouts more. Yeah, 4 bouts more. So it could be significant, but I don't think, at least at this level, you know, she fought only in Brazil before, right? So there is this disadvantage for Julia because she's fighting the US, unknown country, etc. She should be fine, but this is another question there. But what I wanted to show you guys is basically Jasmine here, her size, you know, her fitness level. She's always there in the UFC training centers, you know, she's like you know, with UFC fighters there Here there is a Belvita with her. You know, you can see that she's tall, she's long, you know, so she's fighting Julia Polastri, who, at least by the pictures of Instagram, and guys, could come down to these things once more, who's better prepared, who has less things to worry. She's mostly like putting some pictures that she's like, you know, her personal lives, etc., you know. So I think due to all of this reason, Jasmine is definitely the bet in my opinion, you know. But again, with these considerations that I said. Okay guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, consider supporting the channel. If anything, just let me know, and good luck with your bets. This is Sam from Nasrudinov Bet, bringing the best, most consistent and transparent betting strategy for you.